Well, today we have a collection from Hunkydory, and it's called By the Riverside. And Heidi has done some absolutely charming projects along with the art that is charming. In fact, you can see it right here in this card. Isn't that just really sweet? This is called Afternoon Tea. So please come play with us. Now, before we get into the projects, I just want to show you what the product is all about. Now, By the Riverside, this is a little book of By the Riverside, and it measures a little more than 4 inches, a little less than 6 inches. So you've got that. And there are 120 sheets in here. There are 20 different designs, and you get 6 sheets of each. And you'll see why those 6 sheets are needed. Then you're going to get some toppers. Now, they come in a collection altogether. There are 4 of them. And this is the afternoon tea that I was talking to you about. And we're actually going to set that aside over here because I'm going to need that for the first project. And this is called Gone Fishing. Very, very sweet. And you can see that each one has the die cuts, and there are two or three kind of sets within that sheet. And then there is a foiled adorable scoreable, which is their cardstock. You can see the foiling. I hope you can see the foiling. There you go. And then there's also the printed cardstock. So that's in each of the sets. Then there's also a perfect picnic, so you can see the picnic going on, and then this one is called Birthday Fun, so lots of things. And let's get started with our first card, which is this one. And this is the one, obviously, that I showed you. And what Heidi did is she used the printed cardstock, this piece, to make her card. So I'm just going to open this card up and show you what it looks like on the back. So what the directions will tell you, and by the way, there are directions down below. They're all written out. You can print them out if you like. And so to make her card, now this is a 5 by 6.5 inch. So she measured starting over here on the right-hand side and at the bottom. So she just measured over 10 inches by 6.5 inches. That just took care of it. Now you are going to cut into that little image, but that's okay. That's what's happening on this. If you wanted to use just a regular card, you could certainly do that and just cut this part to cover the card front. So you have a choice there. So that begins this process. And then she very cleverly took this piece out. There are 3 frames. There's a piece here and then 2 frames, and she kept the 2 frames together. You can kind of see it on the card. Now these are actually a square, and what she did is she turned them on point. Now meaning that she turned it like this. Okay, you can see that on the card. And she just right now just laid it on top and then traced over the card along the inside. Then she removed the topper and placed this onto a self-healing cutting mat, just like so. And I'm going to open this up so you can see what her cut looks like. And she used our retractable penknife. This is the one that when you push on the end, it's going to expose that very sharp blade, a very thin blade. And she used a ruler. We like the Hunkydory's ruler. And so this has that curvy edge. Well, you know, that's really harder to cut around. So she just placed her ruler and just cut from section to section, just to really make that a lot easier than going on those curves, because you don't have to match that exact outline. Now I'm going to push the knob right there, that button, and retract the blade, so I'm not going to put my hand down on it and end up getting blood all over everything, because that's just very tacky and messy. So then we're going to go back after we've removed that piece and glue down this piece on top. Again, you're going to keep it on point so that every square, when you turn it on point, becomes a diamond, just like that. And it does extend out just a tad on each side, but that's going to work nicely. Now, there are some other pieces that from this sheet, so you can see the little teapot that she has foam taped on the lower right-hand corner, and the upper left-hand corner, tea makes everything better. Now, you may not know that, but it is true. Then she also used the bow maker, and Heidi is a great believer in the bow maker, and I know many of you are also. And she tied a bow out of the ivory ribbon set, and that's that little gingham bow right there. And then she added a pink sparkles. These are self-adhesive, just right at the top of that cutout. Tea makes everything better. So that takes care of her card front. Oh, there's another bow down here and another sparkle. So we've got them balanced at opposite corners. Now on the inside, okay, so here, remember I said there are 2 sheets with every set. And this is the printed one, not the foiled, because you use that on the first part. And so you can see that she used this area and she covered the inside of her card. Isn't that a sweet design? And then she used the center of it and just made sure that it's going to show on the front of the card, glued that down. Foam taped the happy birthday, did the same thing, an ivory bow, zotted it in place, and a pink sparkle. And so that is our first card. Really cute. Now, this doesn't look very much like By the Riverside. It looks more like kind of tea for 2, or maybe it's tea for 1. But that's the beginning of our set. Now, our second one is this card. This has got some things going on, and it has this fun extension in front. And this is added to our basic card. Again, this card also measures 5 by 6.5. It's starting with our blank cards. So that's what Heidi did. Now, in this case, she also used the cardstock. And in this part, she has used the printed, not the foiled. And so she's starting with, actually what I think we want to start with is making this little hinge, this little step that comes out. So this is going to get attached at the bottom of the card front. So you're going to take a piece of cardstock. Heidi calls for just some white cardstock, measuring 5 by 3.5 inches. Now I'm going to turn it on its side so you can see, and we're going to measure 1/2 inch and score it, 1.5 inches and score it, 2.5 inches and score it. And in order to make this sample, I used the scoreboard because I think it's great, and you only ever need one for your lifetime, so that's nice to know. And with these, it's going to be an accordion fold, but let me just tell you how this is going to attach. The 1/2 inch is going to get extra sticky tape on the back of it, and it's going to get attached to the front of the card. Then you can see that these are just going to fold down, and you can burnish these with the bone folder that's attached to the scoreboard. So that's all nice. I didn't do that because I just wanted to make sure that these were really showing you how to do that accordion fold. So valley, mountain, valley. Okay, so we have this placed right there. Then we want to take this piece of the printed adorable scorable, and again, starting at the right-hand side and at the bottom, we're going to cover that card front. So put glue all the way around it, position this on 2 ends, press down, turn it over, and trim it to fit. That's how we do the covering. Super easy. You don't need any measurements, and it works every doggone time, which is very nice. Okay, so now we have room for our little frog and some other things that are going on. So let me show you what's on this sheet. So we have our frog, we have a badger, and we have a something else that's right there that's taking a walk. So we're going to take the frog, and we're going to separate these 2 pieces, and we're just going to glue this piece down. And you just want to have it attached. You can see it's just about, maybe 3/8 of an inch from the left-hand side, and just up into the grasses on that cardstock right there. So I'm going to glue that in place, then foam tape the frog, and it actually has 2 layers of foam tape, so it's really raising up just a little bit. Now the hip hop hello, that is right here. You're going to foam tape that in place. And in this case, Heidi used the light pink ribbon set with the bow maker. And so that's right there. But she did keep using the pink sparklet. So it's right there on top of the frog. Now here, let me come back to this piece. And so you've used this area. And Heidi cleverly, I thought, used a strip here to cover this front section. And everything, of course, matches beautifully. As a matter of fact, this design is the same design that's used on that arch, so that's even better. So she simply covered it with a piece of this. And then she set about using some of the other pieces on the sheet. So this circle, you make life a picnic. That's very cute, and that is foam taped. Now, when you're doing the attachments here, you're just going to put the foam tape on the bottom half, and then on this little picnic basket, again, you're just going to put the glue on that section. So that works nicely. The best fishes is just glued on top with in fact, there's just one of the sparkles. And then right here, we've got this little guy that is also foam tape and has a sparkle on it. So that is our card front with lots of things going on. And this would set up, it would stand just all by itself. And then on the inside, now for this, we are going to the other sheet of Adorable Scoreable. This is the foiled one. There you go. And as you can tell, we are going to use this little guy. And we're going to cut him down a little bit less than 5 by 6.5. That way he's going to fit nicely on the inside of our card, and as you can see. And then Heidi cut a stripe, and the stripe is not there, but it's on the other sheet. Okay, so let me show you. So it's got light blue at the bottom, and white and brown and some dots. So it's that strip, can you see? So she cut 3 inches long, 3 or 3.5 inches. It tells you in the instructions. And then she cut a V at the end and glued that at the edge of the paper, and then foam taped these two foiled toppers in place. And then another bow. And then also, I thought this was clever. She has the 3 sparkles, so 1, 2, 3. They're also lining up on that outside edge, so everything is attached. But they do kind of go out, so you can see that's narrow, next one, and then the longest one. And then that little guy is singing a tune at the picnic. Very nice. So you've got some fun things going on. So those are the two using 2 of the toppers. There are 4 in the set. Now we're going to move over into the little book of By the Riverside. And let me show you her first card. Here it is. Again, this is on our card base, 5 by 6.5. You'll be able to say that in your sleep, won't you? And in this book, there are, of course, the artwork, and you can see it's going to fit perfectly on the card. But there are also some cut-out embellishments. So I think Heidi calls these accessory pages, so just wanted to show you that. And in this case, she took our sweet little goose and she matted it on the rich gold. And the rich gold is just a favorite of the whole design team. So she just matted it. What's nice about the rich gold is that it's going to pop with any of the foiling that Hunkydory does, but it also matches the dazzle, so that's nice. Now she did a double mat. So the first mat is the rich gold. The second mat is Hunkydory's. Now they call it a shimmer cardstock. It is a glitter cardstock. It's a non-shed, and you can see that that is the second mat. It is a narrower mat. And this whole piece then is glued onto the card front. Now, because you get 6 sheets of each one, Heidi has chosen to do some, we call it paper toll, you can call it decoupage. I highly, highly recommend you use scissors like this. If you have something like this, that's great. If you don't, we do carry them. These are from Crafter's Companion. They're called 4.5-inch professional scissors. Now they're 4.5 inches long, but the blade is, I think it's less than 2 inches, but it has this precision tip that is just wonderful for doing this delicate cutting. So what she has done is she has cut out just one more goose, foam taped it over the art, and then cut out the shawl and the hat separately and foam taped those in place. So that was fun. Then going to this sheet, now again you get 6 of them. So she cut out this banner, but she cut along the white edge, so that way you're not trying to go around the strings and making it even more difficult. So she cut out 2 of them. You can see that she glued one here and then one on top of it, so that's nice. And then there's also the greetings. So this is thinking of you. And the way that Heidi likes to do this is she likes to put 2 layers of foam tape in the middle and then 1 layer on each side, and just let that have that little bit of bump there. And then out of here she's got 2 of the blue packages that she has glued and foam taped in place. So we've got the thinking of you on the front of our card, and then on the inside we have this little guy. So same thing, it's just going to be matted once on the rich gold and then glued to the inside. And you can see that she's added more things to it. So on your special day, now this is just foam taped. So she's used 2 of these. Now again, you get 6 sheets of this, so you're going to be just fine. And then going back to the other accessory sheet, so she did 2 more of the presents and then 1 more of the present with balloons to go in the middle. And then to kind of keep that gold going everywhere, can you see the circles? Okay, well those are the jewel dazzles, the gold jewel dazzles. They're on the front, excuse me, on the inside, and then obviously on the front, just like that. Okay, I have 1 more card, and it is this as she reaches across the table. And whoops, here you go. And this card is a horizontal card, as you can see. So the fold is up here, but again, it's 5 by 6.5 inches. And Heidi's brought in several things to play with the art. Now, for the front of this, she has used this piece. So you get this kind of a picnic, and then she added this little guy. So this is on one of the cutout sheets. And again, you can cut along the white edge, and that's just going to give you a little bit of white matting showing, and glued that in place. Now she did put him resting on the blanket. And then she didn't use this one, but she did go to another sheet and cut her out and foam taped her. So because she's closer to us, she's larger. And then for a special friend, well, you know that's coming back to this sheet. And she also has the cake. Now the cake is right here on the sheet with him, and that's foam taped. Now that's all going just on that one sheet, but for her card, she did cover it with a blue. And since there's no solid papers in here, she went to the Magnolia Blossom solid cardstock. And you can see all the shades of blue as well as yellows and tans and so forth. And she simply covered her card front with the blue. And you know that's easy. But she also added 2 more things. And one is the swirl vellum. Now, I didn't notice it at first, but because I was so focused here, but she does have it, and she did cut a piece and then just glue the middle of it, because you're going to put the doilies on it, and then you're going to foam tape this little piece on top of it. So the doilies, they are our 4-inch wide paper doilies. There are 2 of them, and she did elect to do a little bit of coloring. So I think you can see that they're just a very light pink. Well, we call it blush. That's Prism's ink pad. And she just did a little bit on the edges using her blender brush, or you could use anything else that you like. That's just gonna, just a little bit, just to give a tinge of color, just kind of going with the colors that are in the artwork. Now she did add a couple of dazzles, and that is the gold tiny flowers. So you can see these in the corners. Maybe we can get in closer, Houston. Thank you. So you can see the flower, but also in the center, she added a white jewel dazzle. And I have to tell you, I don't know that anybody has done that, at least in the design team. So she's done that on each of the corners. So I thought that was a nice touch. And as I said, this piece was foam taped on top. Okay, you can go back, thank you. Now for the inside of the card, she has taken this piece. I think food is what's happening on all of these. And before she did anything with this, she did another piece of the swirl vellum. Now this is our white printed vellum, and we've got swirls, we've got dots, and then we've got little hearts and dots. So we've got the 3 as well as just white vellum. And did the same thing with 2 more of the doilies, lightly brushed them with the blush ink pad, and then glued. And all you have to do with the vellum and with the doilies is just glue the center down, because you don't have to have the whole piece down. So that works out nicely. Then we're going to foam tape this guy down. We're going to do the, this is one of the die cuts, excuse me, this is one of the cutouts, Sent with Love. Now this has a V at one end, but she just chopped that off even with the paper at this end. Foam tape that in place. And then she's got the flowers and the white jewel dazzles in the corners. So that happens. Now, that's also nice with that Magnolia Blossoms cardstock that you've got the light blue on the front and the that brighter blue on the inside. And you know, I think I misspoke. It looks like she created her whole card out of that cardstock. So to do that, you would simply measure, I'm just going to lay it out here, 10 inches by 6.5, score it in the middle, and then that will become your card. Okay, so there you go. I like that when the inside is different. I think it just gives you a nice little pop. So that's what we have from Hunkydory this time. So by the Riverside. Now, as I think you could tell, the artwork comes horizontally. It also is vertically. So you have lots of choices. And then also the 4 by the Riverside toppers, and those are each sold together. So the 2 that I'm missing here, I will just kind of set right there and let you know that there indeed are 4 different sets. Now, why am I telling you that? Well, because there is a money saver. As always, it's on the right-hand side of our screen. You can get a discount because we're always trying to keep your pocketbook happy. And if you are watching us on YouTube, we'd like to invite you to leave a comment and like us and subscribe, you know, all of those things. Then head on over to paperwishes.com, take advantage of that money saver. As I've said, there are instructions down below. Just click on the card, you'll see the instructions. You can print them out, whatever you like. And I want to thank Heidi for sharing some very fun techniques with us today, as usual. And I want to thank you for being part of our Paper Wishes family. We'll see you next time.